80 for Cheverny. Then go down to Terminus Prince. Jason Holder aboard at 5.50. The Almighty One, nice odds at 9.60, and Chiming Door at 20. Mrs. Bentley there for Mark Zara at 10. For Lorna at 17. .com is at 9, and the others at long odds. The Kyneton Cup coming up in 12 from now. Cherry Jubilee won at Grafton and paid 421.70.
The rest of them here have been easy. You're getting overs for the Almighty One. Terminus Prince, a little bit of value above that, number 6. Mrs. Bentley, you're getting some value for the local horse. .com, last year's winner, you're getting value at $8.30, and that's about the tail. So on track, the favourite Cheverny. I'm going with 6 Terminus Prince. We're about to catch up with Jason Holder. The last few runs for Barry Dunn have been very good. He's brought the horse over from Strathalbyn, and a 4-year-old really strong type. He'll be right on the pace. 6 on top for mine to beat 1 Cheverny. It was scratched from yesterday at Flemington, save for today. 5 Brodance. We've tipped it the last couple of runs. It's been slightly disappointing, but gee, it looks good in the coat. It led at Horsham, or was close up on the pace at Horsham. It'll be around the money. And 12.com, last year's winner, ran on very strong at Cranbourne last start. The only small concern is they haven't been making up a lot of ground, so they probably don't want to get too far back on .com. 6, 1, 5 and 12. We're 7 minutes away from the Tui's new Kyneton Cup. The favourite on track, number 1, Cheverny.
Beauty, thanks, Andrew. And, Andrew's caught up with a few of the jocks. We'll see if we can get both these interviews in before they went to the start. He caught up with Jason Holder, who rides Terminus Prince.
Well, they've come over from South Australia to try and win our Kyneton Cup here, Jason Holder, with Barry Dunn. Terminus Prince, a horse that does race up on the pace.
Yes, that's right. He can be handy, and he shows good gate speed, and he puts himself there nicely.
Last 2 wins over in Victoria Park and Morfordville have been very solid, particularly the last one defeated Gay Waterhouse's former horse, Agent Court Express.
Yeah, exactly. Since he stepped up, he's really cherished the extra ground, and he's thriving on the 2,000 metres. He loves it. He finishes off nicely, and he's a nice horse to ride. He's a big horse, and he's a lovely type.
Did Barry have this race in mind? I mean, is this a total shock, or what was the story?
First of all, he wanted to step him out of the ground, and obviously he's won his last 2 races over 2,000 metres, so this is just a nice race for him, and you know, he's racing well, and you shouldn't see why he can't be competitive.
Should be, and he'll be up on the pace, and the winners have all been up there today. Good luck to you, Stubb.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, mate. Jason Stubby Holder over from South Australia. They're trying to win today's Tui's new Kyneton Cup.
Looks well too on the way to the start there, so good luck to Jason aboard this good chance, Terminus Prince. And there's the market again, Cheverny on top with terminusprince.com, the Almighty One, and Mrs. Bentley. Glenn Boss rides the top weight, Cheverny, very good win at the Valley last start, and a while ago caught up with Andrew Bensley.
Well, Glenn, Kyneton Cup. Have you been to Kyneton before?
No, I've never been to Kyneton. Lovely drive, you know, it's actually a beautiful countryside out this way.
And it's a beautiful day here, no cloud in the sky. Can you make it a complete day and win the Cup on Cheverny?
Yeah, I'd like to think so. I mean, he's been racing in pretty good form. He does seem to go well Melbourne way. He's won down here before, and as you've seen by his Moonee Valley winning, he looked pretty strong that night. Yeah, there's no doubt he goes forward, and it looks like that sort of pattern suits this track. And he's pretty strong at the end of his races.
That was the first win beyond 1,600. That was 2,040, back to the 2,000. So you should be okay on the Moonee Valley run.
Yeah, I had no doubt that he would stay the 2,000 when he did. And like I said, he rolls along, and he's really one pace type of horse. But he tends to sort of increase his speed as you get to about the 1,000-metre mark, and he tends to sort of like that pattern of racing, and he's pretty strong at the end of his races.
And just quickly on yesterday, you had the ups and downs, a fall, a winner, and then 5th in the Melbourne Cup on Pentastic.
Yeah, it was one of them days, a hard day at the office yesterday, but I was lucky to get away with the winner on Cup Day. It's always fabulous, and it was just great to be a part of it. It was just racing history yesterday, in mass proportions. So it was great to be there, and you know, as we've all said it before, it was just unbelievable, great to see Ollie's fitting result.
No doubt about that. And yes, the funeral is currently underway in Perth, and I think even just standing here, we're all sort of thinking of the process over there this afternoon. Good luck winning the Cup.
Thank you very much. Thanks Andrew.
Glenn Boss talking to us about Cheverny and the Cup.
Yep, Bossy, good chance here as they move in well for the big one of the day as we take you to John Russell.
And the field getting set here for the 2002 Tui's new Kyneton Cup. Cheverny, warm favourite at $2.90 after his good win at Moonee Valley recently over the 2,040 metre course. He's up a few kilos in weights, but he's meeting certainly a weaker field than what he met the other night. Should be very hard to beat from there. Glenn Boss aboard. Drawn barrier 1 should have him in the box seat right throughout. Bro Dance has moved in. Cheverny, the inside runner. Terminus Prince well back, second pick in stall 5. Yama's moved in. So they're just about ready. Thank you, Andrew. And the light goes on for the Kyneton Cup. They're ready. Shoot start here. They go a few metres before linking up with the course proper. Line looks to be good. Already. Cheverny, the favourite, drawn barrier 1. They're off. And Cheverny jumped out very quickly on the inside. Away quickly also is King Saleri showing speed, and Terminus Prince began well as they race down the straight the first time, and going very fast on the outside is Storm Edition. Down the straight they race now, and Cheverny holding the inside running. Half a length Terminus Prince being followed by King Saleri, and deeper on the track Storm Edition. Mrs. Bentley prominent just in behind them. A length to Brodance.com over on the inside. Then Forlorna. A length further back is Prolific. A length and a half back along the inside Yama with Chiming Door, followed by the Almighty One, and Sandbell is last of all. Out of the straighter, and Cheverny in charge, leading the best part of a length on Storm Edition at the 1400. Terminus Prince the inside third, close in behind the Mrs. Bentley. Brodance racing around the outside of King Saleri. A length to .com on the rails. They're followed closely by Prolific a bit further back in the field there, and then came Forlorna racing one off the rail. A length Almighty One caught 3 deep, followed closely by Yama on the inside of Chiming Door, and Sandbell is last of all. The field starts to string out, just over 1,000 to go. Cheverny travelling well in the leader, the best part of a length in advance of Storm Edition. A length and a half to Terminus Prince on the inside. They're followed closely then by Mrs. Bentley. A length to Brodance, followed closely by King Saleri. .com getting through on the inside is taking closer order. 2 lengths to Prolific, and they're followed out all after a gap there by the Almighty One. Well back in the field at that point was Yama. Chiming Door's a long way back, and Sandbell is last of all. Cheverny is the leader. 600 metres out in the cup, a half length to Storm Edition, the immediate challenger. Terminus Prince is being scrubbed up. Mrs. Bentley running on is now third. Brodance is in behind them, and they're followed after a gap by Forlorna. .com looking for a run and needing it too. King Saleri hard ridden right around the outside. The Almighty One. Storm Edition on the outside has taken the lead. Cheverny can't go on at the moment. Mrs. Bentley third. Storm Edition kicked away at the top of the straight. 200 metres out. Here comes Mrs. Bentley down the outside and winding a good run. Storm Edition is the leader. Mrs. Bentley coming home solidly down the outside. Cheverny and Forlorna finishing fast, but Storm Edition is still in front of Mrs. Bentley, is trying hard. Mrs. Bentley on the outside lifting. Mrs. Bentley wins the cup from Storm Edition. Prolific flew home for third, followed by .com, Forlorna, Yama, the Almighty One, followed by Terminus Prince. A gap then to King Saleri. Cheverny weakened out of it, followed by Sandbelt and Chiming Door, and Brodance has run last. Great victory for the local idol. Mrs. Bentley wins her second Kyneton Cup. Great little mare she's been for connections, Mrs. Bentley, and she has triumphed in today's Kyneton Cup as we stand by for all placings. Will Storm Edition look to have it won, but Mrs. Bentley, finishing resolutely, has grabbed Storm Edition close to home to score, and has paid a very good dividend too for her followers of $12.40 and $2.90. Storm Edition $7.70, and the fast finishing number 17 Prolific third at $6.70. So the Kyneton Cup, the Tui's new Kyneton Cup's been a wipeout for punters. But no doubt Mrs. Bentley will get a great hand from the crowd as she comes back to scale, ridden by Mark Zara for the Neil Dyer stable.
Terrific win, yeah. She just loves it there at Kyneton. Thank you, John. And she was too good today in the Kyneton Cup. Mrs. Bentley and Mark Zara, good on you, Mark. That was a good win. 12.42.90 over Storm Edition, and third home to Prolific after today's Kyneton Cup, 9, 4 and 17. Strathalbyn, the fourth in 6.
Don't you?
They're off and racing, and Cheverny on the inside came out cleanly. Terminus Prince began well, and the setter Mrs. Bentley away smartly as they race onto the course proper. Deeper out of Storm Edition, followed then by King Salieri, Brodance. .com back along the inside of Prolific with Forlorna, Chiming Door, Yama. Sandbelt and the Almighty One is deep and near at the tail. Cheverny, the leader at the judge, with a round to go from Storm Edition in the centre, Mrs. Bentley. A length further back then, Terminus Prince, who's driving up into the box seat. 2 lengths, King Salieri, Brodance on the outside of him, followed by Forlorna. On the rails then comes .com, a length away, Prolific. At the tail, Almighty One out 3 deep around Chiming Door, Yammer, and last of all is Sandbelt. 1,300 metres out, and Cheverny the leader by a length. Storm Edition third on the inside, Terminus Prince a length to Mrs. Bentley running fourth. Then comes King Salieri fifth on the inside of Brodance. One away was .com. Then Forlorna over on the outside, the Almighty One going up to almost join Prolific from Chiming Door. Yammer is second last, and last of all a length and a half to Sandbelt. A dozen lengths off the lead, 1,000 out in Cheverny by 3 parts. Storm Edition, Terminus Prince getting a lovely run third, 1 to Mrs. Bentley. A length and a half, Brodance.com going up on the inside, Brodance out deep. In the centre, King Salieri, a couple of Prolific, followed by Forlorna, then the Almighty One. They sprint up now, Yammer a long way back with Chiming Door and Sandbelt. Up the side now towards the 600, and the favourite on top here, Cheverny, about a head in front of Storm Edition, going up the pressure at third placing now, Mrs. Bentley, followed by Terminus Prince, just niggled at. On the outside, Brodance.com needing luck on the inside of Forlorna, and the Almighty One from King Salieri, Prolific, 400 out, and Storm Edition on the outside of Cheverny. They're both flat third, Mrs. Bentley, followed by Terminus Prince. Deep route then comes Brodance, followed by Forlorna, the Almighty One, and .com in the straight. Cheverny's gone. Storm Edition took the lead. The local hope, Mrs. Bentley, is out after. .com is into the clear. Storm Edition in front. Mrs. Bentley trying to pick it up. Storm Edition. Mrs. Bentley going to it. Mrs. Bentley hit the lead, and the locals won. Mrs. Bentley wins the cup. From Storm Edition, Prolific flew for third from Forlorna.com. Then Brodance, the Almighty One. Next in Terminus Prince, King Salieri, Cheverny. Well back then at the head of the other, Sandbelt, Chiming Door. And Brodance has finished at the rear. And is Mrs. Bentley's swan song, her last race today. And she wins her local cup.
And these are only approximate. Number 9, Mrs. Bentley, Mark Zara, 15.20 and 4.20. Over 4, Storm Edition, 8.60. 17, Prolific, 5.30.
Number 9, Mrs. Bentley, ridden by Mark Zara. Number not in the frame as yet, but it will be. And there it is now. Defeating Storm Edition, who looked the winner when it got to the lead. Probably just a fraction too early for Reese Wheeler's liking. And third placing goes to number 17. That is Prolific, who's flown home again to run yet another place in the Cup, ridden by Wayne Hawkeye. 9, 4 and 17. 9, 4, 17. And congratulations to Neil Dyer, who's done it with his champion mare, Mrs. Bentley, in her last race start before going to stud. She is by Hugh Clays, out of True Penny, a true statement mare, raced by Neil Dyer, P. Gilligan, C. Capelki, K. Kilty, T. Doyle, Mrs. A. Farrell, M. Stockwell, G. McFarlane, and A. Basiti. And Mark Zara took the winning ride for Neil Dyer. Number 4, Storm Edition, gallant in defeat by Troy Pindari from Stormy Solitaire, Barry Barnes. And 17, Prolific, has run third here again by Terrific out of True Pearl, trained by Sid Catherall at Ballarat.
Righto, we can tell you the double there, 1 and 9. Don't tell Tom. And Mrs. Bentley to pay $39.
Runners are at the barrier now for the Melbourne Cup for 2002. Milling behind the starting gates. The latest from the betting ring.
Thanks very much, Andrew.
You're shedding a tear. This is a fairly emotional moment for you.
She, I thought when he sort of had to tap her up a little bit before the corner, she doesn't usually find, like, she's got to sit and sprint sort of thing. But her courage got her there, mate, and on her home track, I'd say. But I reckon I'm dreaming like poor old Damien Oliver yesterday, mate. That's just sensational.
The emotion in your eyes when you walked up to us, Neil.
Mate, I can't describe it. It's just, I reckon I'm going to wake up in a couple of hours and it'll be, you know, Kyneton Cup Day.
You must have set the horse here, though.
Oh, well, look, she was set for the Mildura Cup on the late August. And this just fired on, mate. She's an unbelievable horse. Like, she just doesn't hit her peak. You can keep her where she is, you know. She's happy up here in our little environment at Kyneton. No pressure. And just stays where she is, you know. Easy to train.
Well done to you, Neil. Congratulations to the crew. You better get over there, mate. Go and enjoy it.
Thanks, Andrew.
Neil Dyer joining us, the trainer of Mrs. Bentley, as they come back after the Tooheys New Kyneton Cup.
And Neil is one of the part owners there. What are they? 1, 2, 3, 4.
With glass.